Hey everybody, how's it going? So this is part 2 of guitar chords to learn when you're just starting out. I have a bunch of chords in the description, and I'll just take you through each of the chords and show you how to play them. And I hope you like it. So first chord, E. All right, so it's just like the E minor shape that you learned in the other video, but this time you're just going to take your first finger and you're going to put it on the 3rd string, 1st fret. So open, 2nd fret with 2nd finger, 2nd fret with your 3rd finger, 1st fret with your 1st finger, open, open. That is an E chord. All right, let's go on to the chord after that. We've got A. Now you can play this a couple different ways. I've seen people do this. I've seen some people do this. I find this way to be the most comfortable, and I'll explain why in a second. So you'll notice there is an X over the low E string. That means don't play it. So open A, then you've got 2nd fret with your 2nd finger, 2nd fret with your 3rd finger, and then 2nd fret with your pinky, and then the open E. The reason I like fingering the chord this way is that the way that my 2nd and 3rd fingers are playing the notes is the same configuration that they have when I'm playing an E chord. So that way you can switch back and forth. If you played A like this with your 1st finger, you kind of have to rotate your hand, and I find this to be a little bit more comfortable. But with all this stuff, do what feels comfortable to you. I'm just only trying to let you know what has helped me. All right, 3rd chord, we got a B dominant 7 chord. If you don't know what a dominant 7 chord is, that's okay. It's basically it's a chord that has the 7th note of the scale. The 7th note of the scale is flatted. Part of a much larger discussion, but B7 means B dominant 7. Here's how you play the chord. 2nd finger on the A string, 2nd fret, 1st finger on the 1st fret of the D string, 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, open B, and then your 4th finger is going to play the 2nd fret of the high E string. And you'll notice the X over the 1st E string means don't play it, please. All right, so we've got E, A, B7. That combination of chords is extremely common. All right, we got a couple more chords here. Check this out: D minor. So you aren't going to play anything on the low E and A string, but you're going to play open D, then 2nd fret of the 3rd string, then 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and then 1st fret of the high E string. Now, something that I'm sure you can kind of already tell. The only difference between major chords and minor chords is one of the notes goes down a half step. That note that goes down is the 3rd. That means it's the 3rd note in the scale of that for that particular chord. So D major is right here, and D minor is right here. In the same way that we had E major and E minor, A major, A minor. Also part of a much larger discussion about theory and harmony and how all that stuff works, but when you're first starting out, it's good to know that the shapes have a lot in common and that only one of the notes changes between major chord and minor chord. All right, we have an F chord. This is a chord that strikes fear into the hearts of guitar players everywhere because it's the first chord. It's the first chord you have to learn where you bar with your first finger. We're gonna get onto bar chords in a couple of videos, but for right now we're just gonna go with F. So third finger on the 4th string, 3rd fret. You aren't gonna play the E and A, those 2 X's right there. 3, 2 on the 2nd fret, and then you're gonna take your first finger and you're basically gonna collapse it like that. Let me get this tune out of the way. Take your first finger, collapse it so you're playing 2 notes at the same time. That's how you play an F. If it doesn't happen for you the first couple times, try not to get discouraged. It's one of the most difficult techniques you can learn. On the guitar, and it takes everyone a while to get it comfortable. But for now, just flatten out your first finger and do the best that you can. All right, that's an F chord. Last chord, G7. So, here's how you play it. You're going to take your 3rd finger, you're going to put it on the low E string on the 3rd fret. That's your G note. You will know this note from your other G chord that I taught you in the first video of the intro to guitar chords. For this one, I'm actually going to mute the A string, that string right there, with my 3rd. I'm going to play this, and I'm going to roll my 3rd finger. I don't know if you can see that. If I didn't mute, it would look like this. This is like the extreme close-up of guitar. So, unmuted, watch this, muted. What you get with that is the ability to play through the chord, and you don't have to go, okay, here's the bass and then here's the rest of the chord. You can just play through the whole thing at the same time. Of course, you could play the B down here. Isn't anything wrong with that. I just personally like the sound of having that string not be part of the chord. So you have a few different options. You could play this, which is basically just a G chord, just with an added note on top, that F note, 1st fret. Or you can mute that string. That works as well. So let's go over all these chords one more time. E major. After that, A major. B7. What's up next? D minor. F major. And G7. All right, those are all the chords I'm going to show you for right now. Thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel, everyone. I just wanted to kind of, come on here and put on some introductory guitar lesson material for everyone. There's a ton of information out there, and I just thought I would, just try to show you all the things that I learned when I first learned how to play. So anyway, I hope you all are doing great, and I will talk to you soon.